Hola, soy YouTube, aquí EuryCloud con un nuevo video. Estamos con la siguiente parte de la serie de Xenoblade Chronicles es. Ahora estamos lo que es el capítulo 2 de la historia del juego. O sea, tengo que irme, sobre el mapa, por aquí. Saliendo de aquí, ¿verdad? Ya pertenecemos a la organización Blade. Que viene siendo que se encarga de la seguridad de la persona, del control, de varias cosas así de la ciudad.
Man, am I glad we pulled an assignment to the east of the city this time. It'd be a long walk all the way back over to the west gate.
De proteger a la persona, todo eso.
Are we even sure
Es
the
como
east gate will be open?
la policía, vamos a decir, también cosas políticas, porque también tiene que vendar con la política de la civilización que hay, que queda la raza humana, que queda, parece, según lo que veo. Coño, no hay bien la pregunta, como estaba hablando. Di que fueron Emma y tú, di que fueron... nada.
Seriously? That was you? Cool.
I don't think so. Those Grexes we took down were fairly routine. Definitely not something they'd lock both gates over, at least.
Then I take my cool back. But wait
Ay,
a
pues
sec.
ahí dijo la
You guys
verdad.
fought Grexes? The two of you? Hey, that's still pretty cool.
No hay mucho que contar
We've been hassling a
criaturas,
lot
sí.
of teams lately, especially how they hunt in packs and all.
Let's not get too excited. Confidence can be good. Overconfidence can be fatal, especially when you're new.
Yeah, you're right.
But enough talk. We've got our mission to deal with. Let's head out.
Roger. That probe isn't gonna install itself. Let's get to the east gate, shall we?
Ajá, seguro que jugar con el juego, tú usar el Gamepad para jugar el juego, parece. Vamos a decir que tengo que ir. Vamos a ver, por aquí. Oh, hay que salir. Muchos enemigos según el mapa. Ahí fue donde yo fui al principio de la historia. Oh, todos estos están muertos. Oh.
Here.
¿Será eso que lo mató?
You don't think that one Sinicula could have killed all these simius?
Unless...
Si escuchan los perros ladrando, le pido excusas, amigos. Le pido excusas.
What's bad? I don't follow you.
That Senicula. It's a tyrant.
Huh? But it looks just like any other Senicula.
Think about it. Your typical Simius is way higher up on the food chain than your typical Senicula, right? Usually we'd find one Simius standing over 3 or 4 Senicula corpses. But here, the tables have been turned. And I don't see a single trace of any other indigents in the area. There's only one explanation. That Senicula is a tyrant.
Let me check the Blade Report database. If there's a tyrant this close to the city, someone must have run across it. Bingo. There was a Senicula tyrant sighted not too long ago. But it was a couple of segments further out.
It could have followed the blade that spotted it back towards New LA, or come here to feed, or who knows what.
That's crazy. I can't believe there's a tyrant right on our doorstep, and HQ isn't doing a thing about it.
Well, don't forget why they sent us here in the first place. Frontier Nav's range is still limited.
Oh, right. They couldn't track it if there's no local probe. They must have lost it when it went off the grid.
Vamos a atacar.
Whoa there, Rookie. We're talking about a tyrant here. Do you even understand what that means?
We should probably explain. Tyrant is our term for any indigenous life form that falls outside of our usual threat ranking system. In other words, they're too powerful for us to even measure how dangerous they would be to take on.
And too powerful doesn't always just mean physically strong. If a creature has even a single especially nasty trait, it's classified as a tyrant.
Even some of Blade's very best teams have come back with serious injuries after running into a tyrant in the field. If they come back at all.
Todavía está a nivel, parece.
Well, alright. I'm game if you are.
A ver si no
Count me in.
viola ahora.
Let's do this. If we're gonna settle here on this planet, we're gonna have to get used to dealing with tyrants now and then. We can't just keep running forever, you know? Besides, I'd never forgive myself if someone else ended up getting hurt because we just left it here.
All right. Let's do it. But don't push it, okay? Either of you. If we can take it down, great, but if not, even just luring it away would be a moral victory. As long as we buy enough time to install the probe, we can use Frontier Nav to track it, or any other tyrant that comes this close to the city from now on. Just make sure you're ready before we attack. This will be tougher than anything else we've faced.
Oh, Dios. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué equipo tengo? Si puedo mejorar. Mejor puñal. El fusil. No. Y esto no puedo por nivel. Tampoco tengo... Yo no compré nada prácticamente. Y también el nivel. No hay nada que pueda equiparle. Bueno, vamos allá.
How is this even remotely there? I'll take the first shot. Make a match, Fire. Shadow strike.
Ah. Oye, boticón de mí. Bien. No, pues espera como un dron más gigantesco, así, poderoso, y duele las tres. Pero queda como limpio y arma tecnológica y eso. Roto una pata. Bien.
Nice work, Lynn. You fought well. You did too. Now let's get down to business and install that data probe. If we stay here for long, there's no telling what other playmates might show up. This beam of light indicates a frontier nav site. It marks the ideal spot to bury the probe.
Okay, the probe should be ready for insertion. I'll just boot it up.
Thanks, Lynn. The top half of the cylinder contains the probe itself. The bottom half is a laser. It dissolves the soil so the probe can burrow to the proper depth. We tried just planting them on the surface at first, but we kept running into problems with the local wildlife damaging the goods. Burying them is going to save us all a lot of time and headaches in the long run. We all set?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever you're ready.
Why don't you do the honors? You can launch it right from your comm device. Give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Now we just need to give it a minute to reach the target depth.
And installation complete. We are now online with a solid connection to Frontier Nav.
Excellent. See? At the end of the day, there's really not much to it. The hardest part was calculating the ideal probe locations. We need them spread out evenly to maximize data collection.
Yep, planting probes is easy. And the more we plant, the more likely we are to find missing crew. So anytime you see a probe site, there's no excuse not to plant that sucker.
That'll do it for your training. Let's head back to the barracks and report to Secretary Nagi.
Bien,
Hard
bien,
work
bien.
paying off.
No guante. Okay. Bien. Vamos de nuevo entonces para ok. El ultra gigantesco está a un nivel ya como nivel 3, o sea que no tan fuerte a nivel de niveles. Esto es famosa que está montico pequeño y tiene un nivel altísimo, te pueden violar. Es interesante este. Ese come de hierba y eso. Después no lo mataré. Son inofensivos ellos. Los brincos que yo dan, Dios mío. Esa es la gravedad del planeta, la gravedad del planeta que así, o es que ellos físicamente están rotos, físicamente. Que yo pienso que lo segundo, que es la gravedad del planeta, Porque Dios mío. Por aquí arriba.
Commander Vandam.
Well, now, look what the cat dragged in.
Sorry we missed you last time. We
Ah,
could have come to meet you at HQ, you know.
Indeed. I suggested as much. Twice.
And we know how much I enjoy being told what to do. Anyway, I hear you tangled with a tyrant, way out of your league. On a training mission, no less. That was reckless. And goddamn magnificent.
So, Commander, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit here today?
Well, I can't just ask Nagi to do everything for me. I'd be out of a job.
Hey, I delivered you the new recruit, didn't I?
Yeah, you won the bet. Don't worry about it, all right? I'll settle up with you later. You know I'm good for it.
The bet?
I'm sure I'm needed elsewhere. If you'll all excuse me, Commander.
Well, that wasn't obvious at all.
Huh. Look at you two. I swear, you're like two children excited about a new toy.
Look who's talking. I don't recall ever seeing you file a request to personally train a rescue before.
Is that so odd?
It is before we'd even asked her to become a blade, little Miss Stick in the rear.
Usually I ask when I don't get your slang expressions, but something tells me to just let that one go.
Enough about that. Where are your manners, anyway? I still haven't been introduced to our new recruit here.
Commander Vandam is Blade's top officer.
In a past life, I was chief engineer on the White Whale. Same idea, basically. Someone has a problem, I fix it. You follow? Not much for conversation, are you?
So you still haven't told us why you're here. From the look of things, I'm guessing this isn't a social call.
You don't think?
No. So let's cut the crap and get down to business.
Ha! Sounds like you're learning my expressions just fine, Elma. Anyway, first we need Chatty Cathy here to choose a division and pull an assignment.
Vamos a ver. Sí, vamos a entender más.
Pretty much everyone in New LA works for Blade, in one of several different fields. Helping to explore Mira, or to maintain order in the city, or, well, you remember Nagi's speech, right? There are 8 different fields in all, and each one has its own branch within Blade. Officially, they're called divisions. Naturally, you'll want to choose one that best suits your personality and your talents.
Let's start with the Pathfinders. Pathfinder's #1 responsibility is planting data probes, like you did on your training mission.
Y no tienen casco,
It
menos.
may not be the sexiest job, but important? You bet your ass it's important. We've only been on Mira 2 months. We don't know jack about this place. The more probes we install, the faster we can get our bearings here and give ourselves a fighting chance.
We've already detailed how important it is we expand the Frontier Nav network ASAP. So, for the time being, I'll just remind you of the highlights. It helps us keep Blade safe. It helps us keep the city safe. And most important of all, it's the key to locating the missing parts of the Lifehold and recovering the rest of the human race.
Okay, next up, Interceptors. You met Akeloff and Evans, right? Irina and Gwen? This is their division. Interceptors have one main duty. Protect New LA and everyone in it from the wildlife here on Mira. Right now, this is probably our busiest division. Interceptors ride shotgun for the research eggheads, they escort VIPs around, and they help any other idiots who get caught out there with their pants down.
Next are the Harriers. Remember Doug Barrett, the Skell pilot?
Ah, sí,
conducting
este
the test
está
flight
volando en
plane?
el mecha.
He's part of the Harriers. If you think of the Interceptors as defense, Harriers would be New LA's offense. They specialize in preemptive strikes on clear and obvious threats. But only on clear and obvious threats. They're not meant to go out and just blast any indigent that moves.
And you got your Reclaimers. These guys are in charge of finding the other pieces of the White Whale. Among other things, that is. Including anything of ours left behind after a battle. Skell debris, weapons, personal effects. It can get a bit morbid, frankly, but it's gotta be done. Until we're up and running here on Mira, and have this place completely figured out. Everything we brought from Earth needs to be treated like it's irreplaceable. Also, the search for the Lifehold. That's mostly on the Reclaimers.
Next, Curators. Curators are the first to scout ahead to unexplored territory, bringing back whatever samples they can get their hands on. Fruits, bugs, sticks and stones, you name it. It's not all picking berries, though. Being a curator also means being the first to encounter unknown indigents.
Oh. Recolectores se enfrentan a los monstruos más fuertes.
Prospectors do, well, prospecting. They poke around looking
¿Será
for
que yo puedo elegir
minerals,
cualquiera de esas
resources,
ramas que yo
and
quiera?
whatnot. Things we need for everyday life here.
A los mechas está bien, pero me gustaría hacer de lo que se enfrenta con los monstruos más poderosos y eso.
We need to be
Digo, con
able
los
to
monstruos
replenish our
desconocidos, no
water
más
and
poderosos,
fuel if we
pero
want to
ser
survive.
conocido debe empezar seguro con los monstruos
And sooner or
más
later, we're
fuertes,
gonna
algo
have to
así.
figure out how to replace things from scratch.
Que tienen que ser
From
escondidos
the
y eso.
socket on a Skell's knee joint, right down to the frying pan in Lynn's kitchen. Without these guys busting their butts, we'd have
Son
no future to
interesantes
speak of.
todas las ramas que hay.
Next up, Outfitters. All of our ground gear and Skell weaponry is developed in conjunction with private arms manufacturers, or AMs. Outfitters are Blade's way of supporting these AMs. They'll seek out anything that might inspire new weapon ideas, and even assist with testing new prototypes.
Finally, the Mediators. These are the folks who keep everything hunky-dory with John and Joan Q public. Any problems a civvy has, they come to Mediators. Fight with your neighbor? Mediators. Lost cat?
Eso lo que menos me interesa son
It's not a
estos.
division for everyone. You need to be a jack of all trades, and a people person. Someone with my charming personality? Probably not the best mediator. But if you got what it takes, it's a clutch role, keeping things cool on the home front.
Pues yo lo aprecian mucho
All
a
right,
ellos.
so I think that's all 8 divisions.
Pues eso se quedan también con la persona, de
Any idea which
ayudarla,
one
que
you'd
no
like to
peleen
join?
y todo eso.
Don't fret about it too much. Whichever you choose, you still have a lot of freedom in how you operate. Mediators can still get out there and mix it up, hunt indigents, whatever. And if a Harrier wants to take a break and settle an argument, that's their prerogative too.
Ah, pues van a hacer muchas cosas ellos, ¿verdad? Se
To be
enfocan en varias
honest,
cosas
even though it's
ellos.
sort of frowned upon, you can actually change your division whenever you like. So there's really no reason to stress about this. All right, you ready to choose?
Elegí.
Yeah, and? We're on pins and needles here.
Joder, está difícil. Deme un segundito,
Pretty
amigo.
much
Cúseme.
everyone in New
Vamos
LA works
a
for
leer un
Blade
poquito de
in
cada
one of
una de
several
nuevo.
different fields. Helping to explore Mira, or to maintain order in the city, or, well, you remember Nagi's speech, right?
Poder pasar esto rápido, por lo menos.
There are
texto
8
rápido.
different fields in all, and each one has its own branch within Blade. Officially, they're called divisions. Naturally, you'll want to choose one that best suits your personality and your talents.
Let's start with the Pathfinders. Pathfinder's #1 responsibility is planting data probes, like you did on your training
Sí,
mission.
las ondas, sí, sí, sí.
It may not be the
Nada
sexiest job, but
interesante, nada
important, you
interesante.
bet
Voy
your
a pasar
ass.
texto rápido, texto rápido, a pasar.
We've only been on Mira 2 months. We don't know jack about this place. The more probes we install, the faster we can get our bearings here and give ourselves a fighting chance.
Jolín.
We've already detailed how important it is we expand the Frontier Nav network ASAP. So, for the time being, I'll just remind you of the highlights. It helps us keep Blade safe. It helps us keep the city safe. And most important of all, it's the key to locating the missing parts of the Lifehold and recovering the rest of the human race.
Okay,
No, no me
next up,
interesan.
Interceptors. You met Akeloff and Evans, right? Irina and Gwen? This is their division. Interceptors have one main duty. Protect New LA and everyone in it from the wildlife here on Mira.
Ok,
Right
un
now, this is probably our
rescatista.
busiest division. Interceptors ride shotgun for the research eggheads. They escort VIPs around, and they help any other idiots who get caught out there with their pants down.
Next are the Harriers. Remember Doug Barrett, the Skell pilot conducting the test flight with Lynn? He's part of the Harriers. If you think of the Interceptors as defense, Harriers would be New LA's offense.
Ya veo que
They
estos son los
specialize
que
in
pueden
preemptive
manejar los
strikes
robots.
on clear and obvious threats. But only on clear and obvious threats. They're not meant to go out and just blast any indigent that moves.
And you got your reclaimers. These guys are in charge
No,
of finding the
reciclaje
other
no,
pieces
para
of the
nada.
white whale.
Ya vi que los
Among
robots
other
me
things,
me
that
tienen
is,
interesado y también lo
including
que
anything of ours
protegen a la
left behind
persona
after
de
a
los
battle. Scale
los
debris,
animales,
weapons,
de los
personal
fauna y
effects.
eso del
It can get a
planeta.
bit morbid,
Ya es lo que me
frankly, but it's
interesa.
gotta be done. Until we're up and running here on Mira and have this place completely figured out, everything we brought from Earth needs to be treated like it's irreplaceable. Also, the search for the Lifehold. That's mostly on the Reclaimers.
Next, Curators.
No me interesa
Curators are the first
tampoco
to
para
scout
nada
ahead to
esto.
unexplored
A ver si
territory.
puedo ya... Sí. Vamos a elegir ahora.
Yeah, and we're on pins and needles here.
Oh, mira, aquí también lo dice. Joder. No. Esto me gusta, misión y todo eso. Oh, los montos grandes, enemigos. Respeto cuerpo a cuerpo. Ah, sí, porque aquí no usan robot. O sea, porque usan armas de cerca, Ajá, eso es lo que se llama de cerca, Ok, me gusta las armas de lejos en este juego. La metralleta no coge esa. No me dan. Para nada. Entonces estoy entre los Hagriel y los... Interceptor. ¿Cuál elegiré? Según esto son cosas los mechas. Pero terminados son de los mechas, creo, después. No creo que según una clase. Pero estos derrotan a los malos, a los monstruos gigantes, eso de ahorita, y los monstruos gigantes, ajá. Mientras que estos derrotan enemigos y completan misiones. Cuerpo a cuerpo, distancia. Excuse mi amigo, pero está difícil la decisión. Bueno, creo que elegiré esta. ¿Sí? Creo que elegiremos esta. Aunque los montos grandes son buenos, pero... Ah, qué diablo, miré por esta, sí. Quiero monstruos, los magnos. Esos monstruos tan me gustó pelear contra ese monstruo grande. Y seguro se lucha contra los más monstruos grandes, seguro. Vamos allá.
Then it's settled?
El juego lo hace maldad. El juego lo hace maldad. Vamos a cambiar. Vamos a cambiar. Sí. Como se me ha tocado ya un moto grande. Así que quizá no use los mechas. Quizá no me use los mechas después, pero vamos a ver. Sí.
Then it's settled?
Sí, puta, coño.
All right. Thank God that's over. By the power invested in me, yada yada, you're officially a blade.
Congrats. And welcome.
I know you're gonna do great.
Charinga.
Now for the job. Let's get down to brass tacks. Nelson's team has gone missing. Last contact we had, they were installing a data probe out in eastern Primordia. Then, nothing.
Nelson. Pathfinders, right?
Are we talking indigents here or what?
Your guess is as good as mine, but they did have a skell with them. You'd think they could hold their own, or at least run away.
All right, we're on it. We'll head to their last known location and go from there.
Report whatever you find ASAP.
Of course. Let's move out.
Roger that.
Capítulo 3. Gana por un legado. Ahora sí. Oh, así, volví a otro sitio. Ok, pero por eso he vuelto a entrar a la zona esa. Ok, y vemos amigos, hasta aquí dejamos esta parte. Ahí llegamos que el final del capítulo 2 y damos inicio al capítulo 3 del juego. Muchas gracias por su apoyo, cualquier comentario se hacía mucho, gracias a compartir, like y nos vemos y hasta la próxima amigos. Chao, chao, chao. Sé que todo un poco lento, no hay mucha acción, pero eso viene ya seguro ya, porque ya por lo menos me tengo una brigada. Eso quiere decir que todo esto se está apoyando por armar, matar monstruos y todo eso. Bye.